You're listening to 2325 Fitness, your favorite health and fitness podcast. Our guest in this episode is Constant Chan. Constant has been a personal trainer for 5 years and is also a co-owner of the Markham Gym in Toronto, Canada. We discuss fitness journey and adjusting fitness goals during a pandemic, injuries for beginners, and much more. Enjoy the show. Welcome back everyone to the fourth episode of 2325 Fit. Today with us we have my friend from college in my time in Canada, Constant Chan. Constant has competed in bodybuilding and he's really passionate about fitness and he's been a personal trainer for about 5 years now. That's right, Constant?
Yes, sir.
Class, and we just finished our final. It was like 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning and you hadn't slept the night before. And I remember that we talked about it and you're like, are you going to go work out? I was like, no, I'm going to go knock out. I'm like, are you going to go work out? I was like, yeah. I was like, but you didn't sleep. He's like, yeah, well, that's the pump. I want to go work out.
Yeah.
That's where it's fun when you're awake all night and you get the pump in.
Yeah, I remember. Seneca. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That day I worked out half an hour and a half, and I just went straight home to sleep, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, for you, how did it begin? Where did you find this passion to bodybuilding and?
I've always been an active person, right? So growing up in Hong Kong, it's just primary sport soccer. We call it football there, soccer. Right. And so I started playing soccer. And then when I moved to Canada, grade 7, soccer wasn't that big. So I transitioned to basketball. And then as I progressed my skills in basketball, I would join a YMCA gym to practice because it's a basketball court. Strictly for basketball. And then I just want to jump higher. So some people told me, just work on your legs to jump higher.
Right.
Okay. So there's only 2 machines I use in YMCA, the leg press and the calf raise machine. So I started doing that. And then as I get older into McMaster and then college, Seneca, I realized basketball isn't for me. There are levels to that. So I'm just like, you know what? I would play basketball for fun, but let me check out the gym. Let me check out the weightlifting area. And then I saw all these dudes just doing all these exercises. And I'm like, okay, let me join them. Let me do some of what they're doing. I have no idea what I was doing back then. This is like what I was in year 1 or year 2. A bench press. I don't know what the hell those were. Lat pull down, the pull ups, right? I just look at people and I copy them. And then it wasn't until I injured myself doing shoulder press and I started looking into, oh man, this left hand went backwards doing shoulder press. I took 2 months off. But so after I got injured, I started looking into rehab and just actually learn about workout. So I bought magazines, I went on YouTube, went online to search, and then I started everything from basic. I retrained my body, and then I got into Good Life. I'm not sure if you know what Good Life is.
It's one of the big gyms.
Rafi knows it's one of the biggest gym in Canada. So
they even took over the Gold's Gym at one point.
No way. So I started to be a front desk worker there. So when I was in Seneca with Rafi studying, I was actually part-time working in Good Life, full-time studying. So started off as a front desk, and I learn more about workout because some of my colleagues are really into workout, really into personal training. I learn, and then I switched from front desk to become a personal trainer. When I became a personal trainer, that's when I take my knowledge a little bit more serious. So I bought some books, ebooks, and a physical copy of books on learning body mechanics and all that, learning how to work out, learning why you do certain things that way and this way. And then some of my colleagues are big into competing, so I'm like, okay, let me try that too. So I just competed. My old colleague coached me, and I did it. I saw what the hype is, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It's an interesting experience. So I did that, and now me and my friend are opening a gym. We opened a gym. So right now that's just it. So I've been a trainer, serious trainer for the last 5 years.
This journey though, you're talking about injuries and stuff. I guess it's a lot of things people don't realize is how do you come back from an injury, right? So in your experience of injuries, was it a setback or was it something you learned from and it helps you in your fitness journey for the next time you try to prevent that injury?
It's both. Actually, I injured myself 3 times.
Mhm.
First time, it was just I don't know what I was doing. I injured myself, and I learned. Second time, as you progress in your fitness journey, you're gonna go up in your intensity workout. You might try some new technique, new lift, go heavier weight. That means you know what you're doing, but you're still gonna get injured at some point. And I injured my lower back. Right? Yeah, lower back, really big injury. I was out for 2 to 3 months. Right? It's a setback for sure. You're always going to have to step back when you get injured, but
Mhm.
you learn a lot from that. So again, when I injured my lower back, I learned how to relearn how to do deadlift. So whatever I did before might be a good form, might be a good technique, but it can be better. So if I didn't get injured, I would not focus on retraining my technique, retraining my movement patterns. So when I got injured, I still work out because your lower back is your lower back. You can still work on other stuff, just
Yeah.
less intensity, less volume, right? So in the meantime, I learned how to hip hinge, learn how to use my abs, use my core properly, and then next thing you know, 4 months later, I'm back, better than ever, right? The third time I got injured, same thing. You just set back a couple of weeks, couple of months, and you just progress again. Every time you injured, every time you have a setback in your fitness journey, if you don't dissect why you get injured, you're not going to propel. You're not going to learn why. You're not going to progress. You're not going to get better, right? If you never get injured, that means you never really.
Roughly, it's very discouraging to a lot of people, and from my experience, some friends that I have, that's kind of the part in their workout journey or fitness journey that they stop and they don't progress even more because there's a setback. You're injured, you don't know what to do, and now you're like, all right, I'm not good at this, I should stop. But in your experience and mine and others, like you said, it's a learning experience where you learn what you did wrong and you improvise and improve that area, and at the same time you're educating yourself about other parts of muscles that might need to be stabilized and be strengthened. Exactly. So what advice would you have for someone starting their fitness journey encountering an injury?
So you mean when you get injured or like
Yes,
while you
I
Right.
think
work?
someone like who's just starting, like for example yourself, right? You started working out, you didn't know what's going on,
Mhm.
and you messed up your shoulder. So that happens to a lot of people who are not like well versed in bodybuilding or like weightlifting. So what would you recommend for them? People just starting out, like how can they deal with setbacks or be prepared to like,
Mhm.
or I would say that what would you recommend for them to do that they try their best not to get injured?
I mean, let's just say at the end of the day, it comes down to why do you start your fitness journey? You want to look better, you want to feel better, you want to do certain things in life actively, right? So if you get injured, does that mean you have to stop? No, you just take a break. You just take 1 or 2 steps back. But if you know what you really want in this fitness in this goal, you're not going to completely stop or give up, do you? Right. So at the end of the day, it's just all about mentality, right? I know a lot of people they got in a car crash after like working out for years. They have amazing body. They got in a car crash, got into a big accident. Did they give up? Most of them don't. They come back. They come back. So as a starter, you injure yourself at the beginning of your fitness career. That actually can be really beneficial. Why? Because you can immediately retrain, do it properly instead of having bad workout habits later on, right? Bad habits are really hard to fix in workout. Muscle imbalances are really hard to fix once you've been imbalanced for years. So if you're just starting out in your fitness journey and you get injured, it can be a blessing in disguise. You can, okay, you know what? Let me do this push up properly,
Right.
effectively. So that later on, if I'm progressing from push up to banded push up to dumbbell presses to shoulder presses, everything can be a smooth transition, right? If you never get injured, if you never have some tweaks in your body when you work out, you're not really working out. Let's just be honest here, right? That's how I look at it.
That's a really good point that you bring is that because I mean sometimes like in bodybuilding and weightlifting in general, there's this ego factor that plays a huge role
Yeah.
where people just want to like lift heavy. They don't care about the form, they don't care about thing, and then like they're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I've been doing this for 1 month. Why my body not progressing? But they don't
Mhm.
realize that their form is off. And in the process, they're just messing it up. So it's a very good point that you brought that injuries sometimes are kind of like important because they set you back and they make you realize what you're doing wrong and how you can get better
Yeah.
with this whole workout or the step-by-step process. Now, with this whole COVID, right? I mean, I know we were just talking about it earlier that it's their lockdown happening right now. Probably like a second lockdown, I think, for Canada right now, correct?
Yeah. Second lockdown.
Second
Yes, sir.
lockdown,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So now how, and I know you're a co-owner of a gym itself.
Mhm.
How has it affected your own personal training? And how have you been able to accommodate this lockdown for your clients training? You know, like I know a lot of clients who don't have access to any equipment
Mhm.
or just doing body weights. So shed some light on your training, your clients training. How is that happening right now?
As you can see, I own a gym, the Markham Gym. Little plug right there. For myself, it doesn't really affect me that much. Again, because I own a gym, I can go in whenever I want.
Sure.
So for my own training, it doesn't really affect me that much. But because I don't want to go out too much during this COVID season, I obviously go out less. But so I just tweak my workout a little bit, tailored to my schedule. So I train a 5 days on schedule, 2 days off. Doesn't really affect me that much. The only thing I would say for myself is because COVID, you can have a lot of people in the gym. So some of my friends can come to my gym. Some of my colleagues can come to the gym because they're not allowed to. But me and my other friend, business partner, we can go. But like it's only one person at a time. So if I want to lift a little bit heavier, if I want to do certain things a little bit more difficult, I can't really do them because I don't have a spotter. Right. So I just gotta taper down the intensity a little bit. But overall, it doesn't really affect me that much. But for my clients, it's it gets tough for them because not a lot of people have fitness equipment at home.
Right.
The most they have is certain bands or certain heavy objects, but like it's not that much, right? So they just gotta. I told them you have to switch your goals now. A lot of my clients when they build muscles, I told them no, let's just go back to maintenance, or maybe let's go on a cutting phase. Because let's be honest, in my personal belief, if you have minimal equipment, you can't really build muscles. You can maintain what you have at best, but to gain additional muscles, to gain additional strength, no, because it's all about intense work. Gaining muscles and strength is about intensity and how much you progressively overload your body, overload your muscles, right? So if you only have bands, there's not much you can overload. The best you can do is just maintain with a better diet. So change the plans, change the goal a little bit, adjust the goals, taper towards more cardio based workout to get the heart rate out active. But like gaining muscles, I will have to tell all my clients if that's your goal right now, put that on pause, do what you can to maintain what you have right now, and then when the gym's open, then we can go back to your original goal. That's what we are doing right now with my clients.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so also going based off of that with the limitations that we have, and bands might be the only gym equipment someone has. What would your advice be for some newcomers? They're like, hey, I want to start working out this week. My fitness journey starts tomorrow.
Start
And they don't have these like squat racks and bench press or whatever. What would your advice be for them? How can they start?
I would tell them to start researching on how to properly stretch first. Stretch and find some mobility exercises, right? Because if you've never been working out in your whole life,
Mhm.
you put yourself into that workout routine regimen, you're gonna feel sore. You might even hurt yourself because everything is limited in your body. You might be tight, so it's not really beneficial for them. So I will tell them to start off by learning how to stretch, learning how to
Yeah.
get your body moving with moving exercises. Go out there, jog around, get your heart rate up, get the feeling of working out first before you dive into how to do push-ups, how to do a body squat, how to do all that. Once you get that down, then you can either contact any people that have personal training knowledge how to do certain bodyweight exercises. The most common one I already mentioned: push-ups, body squats, plank. Right, plank is a really essential exercise for anyone at any level. If you can do a pretty good plank in a significant amount of time, that's already a big plus. That's already a big step for anyone that's starting a fitness journey, right? So progress from there, and then you add advanced resistance, but most importantly, learn how to stretch, learn how to move your body, and then basic body movement.
Kind of creating that foundation so you have like a solid base to start from with the knowledge and just your body getting adjusted to what you're about to get yourself into.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we go back to what we were talking about, injuries and stuff, where then you have a setback and you do this anyways. But creating that foundation, got it.
And I think it's very interesting that you've still emphasized on how a lot of times people would be like, oh, you don't have much equipment, so just do like some cardio or like just focus on your diet and stuff. But you've still motivated your clients, and you have, like, right now you're recommending for the people who want to start their own fitness that they should still do it. They should still continue working out. They should still continue the thing. Why do you think that, like, it plays a huge role? Why can't just people, because in the fitness industry they say that, oh, if you've been working out for so long, it's okay to take a few weeks off. It's okay to take like a few weeks off, come back. Well, why do you think that if people start doing that, why would that lead them to a state where they're in a position where they can't work out anymore, or they start feeling lazy?
There's nothing wrong taking a few weeks off. There's nothing wrong taking a few weeks off, but it's what you do after you take a few weeks off. Let's just say you've been working out your whole life for 10 years consistently. There's nothing wrong. It's really beneficial to take a few weeks off, but then it's up to your own discipline. Can you get yourself back to work, getting active after a few weeks off? It's all up to that individual. You know what I'm saying? So let's just take, for example, any high school kids, any middle school kids, any college kids. You have a 4-month break from your school term. Next year, you still got to go to school. Are you going to say, oh, because I took a 4 months break, I'm not going to go back to school because I'm so used to it? No, you're not going to do that. You still got to go to school, right? So at the end of the day, it's about you and your goals. If your goal is to do this, taking a few days off, it's not going to hurt. It's up to you if you want to continue that goal or not. Being lazy, I'm so used to this, this and that, it's just all on your own. If you want to do something, you're going to do something regardless, right? I know a lot of people that don't have equipment to work out, don't even have bands. Guess what they do? They use their suitcases, use the tables, use water bottles, water jugs, right? There are a lot of out there. Is it going to be as effective as a gym? No, but they still do what they can because that's what they really want to do, right? Yeah. So taking time off is good, but what happens after time off is all onto that individual.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because I think Talha can also attest to this. Like, in COVID, it's changed the dynamic of working out, Like you said, people who are working out, they have found ways to work out. They've been doing squats with like couches, pushing up couches, doing like leg presses, lifting jogs, and like people who don't have resistance bands, they just want to get that mindset in that, what, I'm gonna work out regardless of what it is. So that's a very good thing that COVID probably, like, it separated the people that actually want to work out versus the people that are just doing it for the sake of, what is it that you like, how Talha just mentioned that fitness is a lifestyle, fitness is something that you have to keep doing for the rest of your life. And I know you mentioned that, basketball, sports, getting big, getting stronger. So, but what is the aspect that you love most about fitness apart from just working out? Like, what makes you be like, man, I just want to just keep doing, like, I have the drive to, like, not because you've competed, you've kind of like achieved like a gold star for a lot of people in the fitness. You've competed, you're in the personal training business. You've basically done everything that everyone kind of aspires about.
Fitness is a really result-oriented sport or result-oriented thing to do, right? So it's not like reading a book, it's not like studying, right? Where you can put your mind into reading a book, getting ready for an exam. On the exam day, you might forget everything that you studied, or you panic, or you just choked, right? Fitness is a really result-oriented. You get what you put into it. So for that is like a really fun thing to do, right? Every day you set yourself a goal. Okay, I want to do this on the gym. I want to do this, and once you do it, you feel accomplished, right? Let's just say you want to lose weight and you do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna lose weight. That's really result oriented. Is it gonna come as easy as it is? Depends, but at the end of the day, you can see the results. It's physical. It's also a mental result. You know that you've done it. You did it. So I guess that kind of gives everyone that in this fitness journey, like everyone that you go, okay, this is a really fun thing to do. And plus, when you sweat after you work out, when you sweat, it just makes you feel a lot better. All right. So
when you're in the gym, forget the gym, when you're even at home, when you're doing, like you mentioned, when let's say you're someone who's advanced and you do like 25, 30, 40 push-ups, and now you're struggling on that 41, 42, but when you make it through it, that feeling that you get, is just, I think me personally, I can't really describe like how that feels. It is an achievement, but it feels good overall for your body. And after that, I'm like, man, I just did this, right? And one thing is very important to know, I think, is that when people talk about fitness journey and fitness aspect, they think that it's all about just, lifting weights and doing workouts. They forget the whole diet part. A lot of times people in this whole pandemic that I've seen is that they start lifting, they have a gym and everything, but they completely let go of their diet. So from a mindset perspective, right, how would you, one advice that combines both health and fitness, basically, working out and nutrition, what would you say for everyone should pay attention to when they want to start this fitness journey, especially in times like these where they don't have access, they have limited access to like equipment or even like going out as much?
This is a great time to start organizing your life. You're at home all day, you have so much time on your hand. Everything is, especially in Canada, in Ontario, everything is closed. What are you going to spend your money on? The only thing you can do right now is go grocery shopping or order food or order Uber Eats or DoorDash, whatever. Two things you can do right now, or go for a walk. If you have a gym, God bless you. But it's a good time to really organize your life, organize what you eat, when you sleep. Because what else can you do right now? So right now is the best time for you to start meal planning. Plan ahead because you have all the time in the world. Start buying your own groceries to cook. Make sure that the food is what you need to eat. Order less food, or stop ordering takeout all the time because most of us are not working right now. So why would you want to spend that money, right?
Right.
You have all the time in the world to organize what you need to eat, when you're going to eat. I don't see no excuse if you want to start your fitness journey. This is like the best time, besides the working out part. But like to start living a healthier lifestyle, this is the best time to do it. You're working at home. You have all the arsenals in your house to live a healthier lifestyle. So why not start now? If you don't start now, when are you going to start, in my opinion?
Right. And to add on to that, what about just like the bare bones? What would you advise someone? How to start eating healthy? Like, what does it consist of? What kind of foods, calories, whatever? Just the bare bones. Very simple.
Bare bones. Just eat more vegetables, eat more lean protein. A lot of people downplay. A lot of people's, in my experience, when it comes to fitness journey and in this whole fitness industry, a lot of people say eat less carbs, eat less fat, you're gonna lose weight. I call it bullshit. You're gonna tell a 300-pound guy that has never worked out, tell this guy to be like, yo, stop eating that much carbs, stop eating, cut that rice out, cut that bread out, just pure protein and vegetables. He's not gonna have motivation to keep that diet, right? Just eat better, eat naturally, eat better, eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, eat more lean protein, white protein, fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, all that stuff, seafood, and just go from there, right? Counting calories right now, no one knows how to count calories unless you know what your body needs, unless you have all the data, right? But what everyone can do is just manage the portion, eat enough, and that's it. As a beginner, you feel like you've eaten enough, you're full, stop at that point. Don't overeat it, don't undereat anything. Just as long as that meal is enough for you, stop.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, I think Counts would be a good person to ask since he came from like soccer, but football and then basketball and then weightlifting. And also he has so much accomplished and having clients of his own. An example being myself, when I was much younger, I would see like wrestlers on TV or bodybuilders, and I would automatically assume more muscle equals you're automatically good at whatever you're trying to do, like sports, for example. But then quickly I realized growing up and getting into like the fitness and working out more, that the more muscle you have, it might limit you to athleticism. So anyways, for someone new coming up, younger guys or girls, what advice would you have, muscle compared to athleticism, or the differences in being an athlete in sports versus an athlete in weightlifting?
Being an athlete in weightlifting, so you talk about performance athlete versus
Right.
lifting athlete. So performance athlete, they don't really necessarily need too much muscles. They just need to have enough muscle tones in the body to carry on what they need to do. So that means a lot of their workout is cardio-based workout, maybe involving some strength training. So let's take basketball as an example. A shooting guard. You will never see an NBA shooting guard with the biggest body.
Right.
Right, because that's not what the goal is, right? So as a trainer, are you going to put them on a bodybuilding program? No, because the more muscles you have, the less range of motion you have in your body. The less range of motion you have in your body, the less mobile you are. And that's not what these guys are as an NBA player. They need strength, but they also need cardio and agility. So that means you have to put them in a different program. Maybe some bodybuilding exercises, but I'm not talking about programs, just exercises. So all the workout is going to be compound lifting, maximum 3 to 5 reps to get that strength, train the nervous system, and then a lot of movement training, a lot of dribbling, a lot of agility work, a lot of biomechanic work, jump boxes, aerobic work. So that means maybe they might do some shoulder press for hypertrophy, like 20 reps, but like that's not the bulk of the workout. The bulk of the workout is mainly strength and cardio-based workout. Versus an athlete that's bodybuilding, that's a totally different ballgame. People that train to get big or get lean or get that, it's all about repetition, all about hypertrophy, how much stress and load you can put on your muscles to grow, right? It's two different things. There's this one, so like, look at Dwight Howard. In his beginning of the career, his shoulders and biceps are huge. That limits his shooting form. That's why his free throws are god awful, right? The moment he starts to tone down, the moment he starts to decrease in size, muscle tone, his shooting form got a lot better. Why? Because his biceps is not blocking his elbow to shoot, right? So it's two different ways of training, two different goals, two different paths, right?
I think with basketball, the example that comes to mind, I don't know if you guys saw The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. And there's a segment where against the Pistons, when he was playing, they were like really bigger and stronger than him. So they would easily like push him around. And then his coach
Tim Grover. Tim Grover,
right? He put him on a bulk plan. And then he came like 5 pounds, 10 pounds heavier with muscle. And the next season when they played them, he dominated the Pistons. He stood his ground.
Yeah, but his bulking is not what bodybuilders bulking.
Right.
Bodybuilders bulking are literally growing 20 pounds.
That's true.
Right? Michael Jordan and his coach Tim Grover, what they did is, yes, when you train, you're gonna gain muscles. You're gonna gain a little bit heavier when you train, plus the diet, plus all that. But at the end of the day, performance training athlete, 80% of the workout is all about movement, all about agility, explosiveness.
Right.
Maybe, and then they add a little 20% is just cherry on the top, bicep curl, shoulder press, body squat training.
The aesthetics of it.
Right, aesthetics, right? But 80% is just about how to move at explosive state, how to accelerate, decelerate at a certain point of time, and then just
similar to Dwight Howard, it was LeBron James and Carmelo one summer, it was years ago, came back in the season, and everybody was like, oh, they lost 15 to 20 pounds. That's crazy. And that was crazy. But same thing right here in sports, it's like size doesn't really, you don't want to be bigger. You lose that athleticism from my experience. And now they've leaned up. So number one, long term, their body is going to function better since they don't have all that pressure on their joints as well.
Yeah.
But also they're doing it to perform better in the gameplay of basketball rather than lifting heavy as possible. And I think this is important. What you just everything we just went over is for newcomers in the sports background that are, lifting for the sake of sports in school. It's not the same as a bodybuilder. I think it's important for someone new to be, understand that.
I think before we also briefly talked about Chris Bumstead, who's the current Mr. Olympia. The same thing, he was talking about like there's not much for him, no matter how much he works out at home. If he doesn't have access to the full gym for his kind of body and physique, it's different. Versus same thing, an athlete also, he can probably get by doing a lot of plyometrics, jumping and stuff, but it may not be enough. But your recommended top 10 workouts that you would say someone who's starting the fitness journey, let's say assuming he wants to be somewhere in between an athlete and a bodybuilder, not too big, not too ripped, somewhere just to lead enough like something like 13, 14, 15% body fat, just to lead a healthy life. So your top 10 workouts, assuming they have minimal to no equipment.
So I came up with 10 workout that you can do with bands, whatever you have at home. Maybe if you have dumbbells or plates or bar, perfect. So it's push-ups, pull-ups. So if you have a pull-up bar, great. But push-up, this is one of the best way for you to progress. You started from body on your knees push-ups, progress to real push-ups, progress to banded push-ups, or put weight on your back and do a push-up. So this is the best at home workout you can do, because you can progressively add more load into your push-ups. There are different ways of push-ups. Pull-ups, same thing. Starting off with using the band to support you, pull yourself up, then start real body weight pull-ups, and then add backpack to your pull-ups. All that are great. Body squat, starting from learn how to body squat, lunges, side lunges, because those are really great for your lower body, not just for workout or strength aesthetic wise, but it's just the basic human movement anatomy. If you can, we are supposed to be able to do a squat, perfect squat. That's what our human body is designed to do. If you can't do it, then you're gonna find ways to fix your body, learn how to stretch, learn some technique on how to move your body, do a squat, lunges. Romanian deadlift, this is another way you can do with just body weight. Tricep kickback, you can use a book, a water bottle for your triceps. Bicep curl, anything you can find at home to do bicep curl. Plank, different variation plank, side plank, regular plank, weighted plank. Why? Because it's great for your core, it's great for your control, great for balancing. Anyone needs to do that. Doesn't matter if you're a workout or not. Doesn't matter if you're a teacher. Doesn't matter if you're a fireman. Doesn't matter what you are in life. Doing a plank is really good for you. And then crunches. Just another variation of ab workout.
I think these 10 workouts that you mentioned, push-up, pull-ups, lunges, squats, curls, tricep kickbacks, core work, plank, and crunches. Most of these workouts are like they involve the full body. Your push-up works the full body. Your squats is mainly your entire lower body. When you're planking, it's a full body. So I think it's very good for anyone who's starting a fitness journey to incorporate these, because I think it'll help them with their complete body mobility and allowing them to build that basic strength. If someone who's never worked out and they want to jump to like 50 push-ups, so they can probably start with like 10 or 5 on day one and move up there. So it's very that these are like some core workouts that you've pointed out. Now, what would you say, mention like one main advice that you would give someone overall, like a mindset. For example, I am someone that has never done fitness and tomorrow's my day one. I'm starting with my push-ups, clean eating, tracking my calories and whatever. What would you say that it's important for me to keep in mind that I don't get lost in this path and this journey of fitness or be demotivated if I face anything?
Fitness is not a race, is a marathon. This is a saying that I heard from a lot of people when it comes to fitness journey. A lot of people get depressed or get like lost in this little thing we call fitness. Is because maybe their motivation is, I want to look like this guy I see on magazine, or this guy on Instagram, or this girl on social media. And they got to realize that those people that you see on a magazine cover or social media, it takes them years to do what they do to get to where they are right now. And you think that just because you set your mind into it, you can get that goal in 2 to 3 weeks or even a month? Maybe you have great genetics, but most people have okay genetics. They have to put the hard work in. These people that you see that you're fascinated about, they put their work in. So what makes you think that just because you put in the work in for 2 to 3 weeks, you can get whatever they have? No, it's not going to work. It's a long race. If you want to do this sustainable, you want to do this forever, you got to realize it takes time. It takes time to reach your goal. And the most important thing is your goal setting. If you small step at a time, small goal at a time, right? A lot of people that I know, they're out of shape, they're beginner, they just want to start jumping into competing. They want to say, oh, this guy looks really good on stage. Let me do that in 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months, and let me just jump on stage. No, it doesn't work like that unless you have really good genetics, like I said before. But you're not going to, average people, they're not going to get into really ripped, shredded physique in a short amount of time. You can do it, but you can have a really big rebound, meaning that you can get overweight easier than before, look even worse than before once you let off the paddle. So you got to set a reasonable goal, one step at a time, and then progress from that point on.
The one big takeaway you would say is patience is the key.
It's patience
for progressing.
Patience, man. A lot of people get lost in first 2 to 3 weeks because they're like, yo, why do I still stuck? That's because you just started, buddy. That's because nothing comes easy in life, not just fitness, everything. Get a good promotion in job, it's not that easy. You got to put the work in, let it come to you.
Good. And one thing before we close off, from your perspective, because I know you've competed, just one key point that you would say, that what kind of patience did you have, or what did it take for you to go through? Because I know it's a lot. Your body demands a lot of you when you're competing. You're extremely low body fat percentage. You're at times you're trying to keep the water weight off. You're not drinking a few days before the competition. There's carb loading. So what one thing that stuck with you throughout the whole process?
It's all in here, man. It's all mentality. If you know you're gonna compete, you gotta do it, and you gotta get a good coach.
Appreciate it.
You gotta get a good coach, not those Instagram famous. You gotta get a good coach who knows what they're doing, who knows their stuff inside and out, right? And ultimately, it's all about goals. Right? Ultimately, if you want to do well in the show, then you gotta do well. The result will come, whether or not you like it. The result, but at the end of the day, you still did it. The result came. It shows. Then it is what it is, in my opinion. Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Constant. Thank you for being with us today. And for my friends in Canada who are still listening to this, he owns a gym. It's called the Markham Gym. It's I'm assuming it's in Markham. And if you can Google the Markham Gym, you'll find it. And follow him on his social media, Constant_trainer. He is a personal trainer. He will get you the changes that you need. He personally helped me in the pandemic through get to certain body goals that I had. So please follow him and please show the support. Thank you, Constant, for joining us.
No problem.
Look forward to staying in touch. Thank you for listening to 2325 Fitness. If you enjoyed the episode and you benefited from this episode, please follow us on Instagram. The handle is 2325_fit. That is, the handle is 2325_fit. You can also send us emails with any questions that you may have at 2325.fit@gmail.com. That's the number 2325.fit@gmail.com. Thank you.